Welcome to Deepnight Revelation. That's the game. The last Deepnight Revelation game of 2024. I don't know that we'll go out on a big cliffhanger like I always. I always have grand plans and schemes in my head of oh, that last game of the year has to be a big cliffhanger, or it has to be a big bang going out, and role playing games don't necessarily always turn out that way. That's I I'm not really steering the train. It just kind of it's on the tracks, and that's about the best I can say. Leaving on where we left off last time, these guys have left Plush, and they jumped into the DSA-1 system, Deep Space Anomaly 1. And the system, as you can see from the map, is quite odd. Initially, when they got into the system, they saw that there are three brown dwarfs, but they're not the primaries. They were orbiting a central point in the system. And at first, looking at it, the initial thought was that it was a black hole that they were orbiting. But then, as the scan resolution firmed up, they found that it wasn't. It is actually what is known as a frozen star. This is something that was theoretically possible, but believed that no conditions in our current universe could produce such a thing. Usually, this is something that you would see in a much older galaxy or universe, and yet here it is, and it's really weird. So it gives off almost no visible or thermal radiation. Um, but it maintains, of course. It's a frozen star, so it's the core element of a star. It retains that density, so there is quite a bit of gravitational pull there. And it is orbited by a gas giant and actually a couple of gas giants. And there is a very strange corkscrew spiraling belt around it, and the material at the tip of this belt, uh, most of it ends up eventually getting thrown off, and then orbiting at weird ellipticals around this frozen star are two brown dwarfs. Now, the brown dwarfs are equally weird in that they are throwing off uh, lower amounts of radiation than would be expected, and not they're not abnormal, but lower than expected. And then there's a third companion brown dwarf that kind of orbits the whole mess of it, and yeah, when they first saw this map, they were like, "What is going on here? This is a very peculiar system." But there's gas giants, and so you know there's some place for them to refuel, skim for fuel, and of course check out this frozen star. The science team's going to be going nuts, and so that's where we left off. Before we get started, we would like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. And tonight we would like to thank AleHorn. AleHorn makes beautiful drinking horn, Viking-style drinking horns, such as the standard, of course, typical drinking horn that you think of when you think of Vikings. And then there is also, of course, the tankard style. That's the type I've got. And they also have shot glasses, such as this one. And they've got cups and a whole manner of goods. I think they can even do laser etching on them now. And there's all sorts of stuff. And they are absolutely fantastic company. They've got some of the best customer service that I've ever dealt with, that I've ever seen. Um, Highly recommended. If you go to their site and you find one that you fall in love with, keep in mind that what you receive may not look exactly the same as the picture, because ox horns are just like people. Ox are all different, and so you might get one that looks slightly different than what you see on the actual image. But they're all gorgeous, and I highly recommend them. We also have a merch store via Zazzle. We've got T-shirts and buttons and hoodies and beer stein and a Whiskey Rocks class, all sorts of stuff. And 100% of the proceeds from that store goes directly back into our channel. And that helps us pay for all the nitpicky things like Roll20 Pro subscription or Incarnate Pro. All those little $5 here, $10 there that seem to all add up at the end of the month and kind of blindside me sometimes. So if you want to help us out with that, please go get yourself a t-shirt and a Whiskey Rocks class, and we appreciate everything that you do for us. The Brawnhaven PDF, well, all of the books sale over on DriveThruRPG is going on through January 2nd. PDFs for the Brawnhaven campaign setting are all 50% off, and all of the print-on-demand books, I have lowered the price on them. Pretty much as low as I can actually take it, and it will allow me to push it through. So if you want to get into, if you like old school style D&D type gaming, and you want an old school flavored campaign with a open world sandbox play style, go grab those while they are on sale, because I lowered the price quite a bit. All right, so hold on here. I think we just got a message. Yes, we did. Yep, Brian's on his way.
Hell yeah! While we're waiting on all that, we're shifting into being able to play right now, this very moment.
Yes.
Kind of. Yeah. Okay. Are there any planets or bodies in this system where we can ditch unwanted members?
No. There's not really much of anything here. Like, there's let's see, 1, 2, 3. There are 4 gas giants, and then destroyed planetoid belts, and some rocky worlds here. That's about it. So, not really.
What's up, Brian?
Yo.
Hello.
Okay.
So, as you guys are, let's see, censor check. Ooh, that's pretty good. So, the resolution of this scan, the scan operator on the bridge is kind of, he's doing a pretty good job. I mean, he just got a 12 on his check, and he's collating more and more data, and the sensors are of course resolving over time, and they're noticing a number of things. First of all, the first thing that immediately comes back is that there are cold spots on the brown dwarfs. The other thing is, for this frozen star in the middle here, they are detecting that there is some residual heat way deep in the core of this thing. So it's almost like maybe a brown dwarf is trapped inside, and just like it was getting ready to ignite and then fizzled, but the core is still hot. But the surface is like a tarnished metal. And the other thing that comes up is that they are picking up gravitational anomalies and what appears to be movement in these rings. All 3 of these rings, they're detecting stuff is moving around.
What the shit?
Right. And they haven't been able to pinpoint anything as of yet, because these rings are pretty dense.
We switched our scout ship from the Jesnex to a different one. Are we going to call it something else? Are we going to keep it the same name?
No, it's up to you guys. You could just call it Scout Ship 2. It's up to you.
I leave that up to you. I think I suggested Desinex, so I'm passing off naming duties to the next person.
Loterman.
Oh, right. I mean, I don't care. I think we should make Brian name it.
There we go.
You've been voted, Brian.
Vendroid.
There it is. That's the ship, Android.
Android.
Vendroid.
Oh,
Bandroid.
Bandroid.
I
Okay.
don't know why. It's like a van. It's transporting us,
Oh,
Okay,
Vandroid.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. All
Yeah,
right,
all right.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
on these brown dwarfs, you mentioned cool spots on those, or were you talking about the frozen star?
No, cool spots on the brown dwarfs.
When you say cool spots, I mean, what type of temperature range are we looking at?
Well, now you're gonna ask me
Like,
what's
is
the
this gonna be?
average temperature of a brown dwarf?
No. I'm just wondering if like this is gonna be real easy to refuel, as if we just pull it in and just fill up.
No. So no, I mean they're still brown dwarfs. I mean you can orbit them obviously closer than you could another
Gotcha.
kind of like an actual star, but I always, and I don't know if this is really accurate, but I always think of a brown dwarf as that stage between Jupiter and a star. So, and I believe Arthur C. Clarke in the Space Odyssey series had mentioned the Jupiter effect, where they actually the entities actually ignited Jupiter, and so the Sol system ended up with two stars. But so you could orbit these closer, but they're still giving off a shitload of pretty hard radiation coming off of these brown dwarfs. They're sloppy. But these, when you look at them on a spectrum analyzer, there are, so you're looking at this whole thing, and you're seeing a big ball of orange and red, and then like on the surface, approximately about anywhere from 30 meters in diameter, sometimes up to as high as 400 meters in diameter, you're seeing a not necessarily a blue spot, but maybe slightly greenish. And these are significantly lower temperature than the surface of a brown dwarf should be.
now this
Gotcha, okay.
central one that's frozen over that you say, but still is. Does that have these same restrictions? I mean, in theory, could we land on that?
That's a good question. So, hold on here.
It's like answering questions for kittens. We're all over the place, and
So
some of them don't necessarily make sense.
So as the sensor resolution starts to tighten up even more, a scientist comes gets up running onto the bridge and confirms that it is a frozen star. But not only does he confirm that it's a frozen star, he says there's a structure on the surface of it. Now the biggest issue I mean, of course, if you want to explore whatever this structure is.
Of course we do.
The problem
we
then
have to.
becomes that the surface gravity is 12 Gs.
Oof.
So, I mean, obviously getting a small craft down to the surface, that's the easy part, because it's going to go one way or the other, right? Getting back off could be a problem. And so him and a couple of other scientists are already discussing, makeshift ways of boosting the thrust on either. They're talking about boosting the thrust possibly on a pinnace, because a pinnace is only 60 tons, and they think that they would be able to mount something that would boost that thrust. As you are listening to these excited scientists go on and on about what this structure could be, the resolution on those anomalies tightens up. Let me bring them to the forefront here. And there are a bunch of the Leviathans.
Oh, cool.
Bunch of them. I don't remember if Brian ever saw these.
They're like space whales.
Yes, they are like space whales. So
Psychic space whales. That's our way to the surface.
here is what these things look like, and they are a fully grown adult is around 300 meters in length. They have a armor rating of 30. They have like 4,000 hull points. So, the other thing that these guys have witnessed these things do, they have upwards of 20 G's of thrust, and they are also capable of making their own jumps. They can actually jump between star systems. Nobody knows how far it is that they can jump, but they are capable of doing it. And the other thing that they have is they are able to. They're not psionic, but they are capable of generating a gravitic wave that they can nudge things or push things out of the way. And so you are seeing a shit ton of these things. They're everywhere in this system. And as you are, the scientist is really excited about this. You see that there is what looks to be an adult and a couple of, I guess we'd call them calves, younger ones. There's like 3 of them that are following this adult, and the adult comes over and is checking out Revelation, and some of these feelers that it has, it'll kind of reach out and touch Deepnight Revelation, and then it kind of goes around it, kind of checking it out, thinking, what are you? And then it will go back behind into Revelation's drive plume and just kind of sit in the drive plume, going back and forth, weaving in and out. It seems to enjoy being in the drive plume. While the adult is doing that, the juvenile Leviathans are coming around, and they will dart in front of Revelation, kind of scoot forward a little bit, and then look back behind them like they're wanting to be chased.
Well, I think this is an excellent time to get people out there in the penises and sharpen our skills by chasing the baby Leviathans.
Okay, you can certainly do that. So yes, you go through the normal procedure of launching the penises and trying to, of course, the more, usually you deploy at least 4 penises, and the reason for that is that they extend the range of your sensors, so you can get higher resolution a lot quicker. And so as these Leviathan come out, you'll know that you see that there are these juveniles that are wanting to play with the penises. They treat the penises like they are living creatures in and of themselves. The Leviathans don't seem to recognize that they are being piloted by something, or they don't make the delineation between living and artificial. And so
it seems like Wes and I had a talk with them about that psychically.
You might have, yes. This was a while ago.
Yeah.
And so you at one point you see one of the penises one of the juvenile Leviathans playing a little bit too close, bumps the ship, and it starts to, go into one of the asteroids in the ring, and an adult comes. I was going to say swimming, but I guess flying is. I don't know what you would call it in space, but the adult comes up and nudges the penis back on course so it doesn't run into something. And I think Jack just joined.
I did. Merry Christmas.
Hello, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Yule. Happy Hanukkah.
Shauna.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think we're on we're on day 2 of Hanukkah or day 3.
Yeah, well, we're in the Yule season too, so
Yeah.
that
Day 2 of Kwanzaa.
Yes.
It is definitely day 3 of Hanukkah. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a good
But-
Christmas?
I did. How'd you guys?
I did
It
fairly
was
well.
pretty cool.
Yeah, did fairly
Yeah.
well. Came back,
Yeah.
got sick, but or are getting sick. So, you know.
I've had a cough, and so I've had to stay home. So it's been a quiet Christmas.
Well, there's
My
nothing
wife's
wrong
been
with that
sick for
either.
10 days. My wife's been sick for
Yeah.
10 days, and I've been just sleeping on the couch saying that you get the fuck away from me with that illness.
It gave me a chance to start playing some Baldur's Gate. I
There you
picked
go.
so
Oh, that's a great game. My wife and I like to play that on our TV. And I just stream it from my Steam box, and yeah, no, that's a fun
I
game.
mean- I'm a cheap bastard. I refuse to pay retail, and so I had to wait till this Black Friday to buy it.
Right? Yes.
Huh.
Yes. So, anyways, these Leviathan are weaving in and out, and the sensor readings, they're now the sense ops is kind of focusing on multiple things at once here. Sarda's usually your sensors guy. Does Sarda want to scan anything in particular?
I'm most interested in the sun, but I think the other thing's just this is such an improbable. I would think we'd want to try to figure out the orbits of everything.
Okay. Go ahead.
Just as
yeah.
whether I can do that with a scan, I'm not saying that would be a scan thing. I think that's sort of a long-term project for our.
Well, I think it would be two. I think this is going to be a task chain. So if you want to make an electronic sensors plus intellect or education check, and then we will determine what kind of bonus that gives.
Sure.
Here,
Electronic sensor.
I think everything here is part of a big puzzle.
yes.
Oh, there you go.
Oh shit. Okay. So
And that's maybe even +2 on top of that, because that's just my raw skill.
okay.
You get +2 for cool sensors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that brings it up to 18. So that's definitely a +3 to.
I do have science space, but I think there's people that are probably far more skilled at that on this ship.
So, yeah. Does anybody have? Does anybody else have either? Before you do a science space, I know Brian should have astrogation.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, astrogation might be better. I've got that as well.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I have it as well. I have astrogation 2.
Okay.
I have a total of a 2 in astrogation.
So
I'm
whoever wants to can make an astrogation plus intellect or education.
You do it.
Mr.
All
Big Education, do it.
Okay.
How's a 12?
And there is a +3 to that, and so that brings you to a 15. That's another +3 to whoever wants to make a science space plus intellect or education.
Science. I have jump space, but not space.
Well, that would at least give you.
It probably should just be space, because I think he was trying to simplify all the sciences so that there weren't so many subcategories.
Yeah, let me take a look here. It is.
I don't have that trained, so
See.
but still it's education, right? So I could help.
So, I mean, this one, I would say, yeah, space sciences would be either, falling under this would be probably cosmology or planetology. Probably cosmology, but if you've got just science, space, that is the broad skill.
Is your science untrained? Because if your education's higher, you'll definitely get a better roll than I will.
His is untrained, so he's at -3 with a +3 for education. So
it's a wash.
right.
Can I use the 1 from jump space, or should I do a 0 roll for science?
So you have jump space physics. No, you would just have science 0.
Then we're even. Okay, well, I'll roll anyway. Just
I mean, I've got a 2 in.
Oh, then you roll.
All right, well, yeah, I wasn't sure. So there you go. That's why you don't want me rolling.
Well, there was a +3 to that, so that's a 9.
Right.
So yes.
Just for shits and giggles.
So as you guys are kind of looking at,
see, that's why I didn't roll.
Oof. Yeah, good thing that Pappy didn't roll on that one. So as you guys are kind of looking at this, you're not able to discern how this got this way, but it is clear that this is. It's clear that this is an artificial construct. Like something happened to put these into play. This did not happen naturally. But as you're watching this, you see one of these Leviathans come over, like this star or this brown dwarf here. You see this Leviathan come at a juvenile, probably about 100 meters in length. It comes to the brown dwarf and dives into the dwarf, and then comes blasting out a few seconds later, and there's a big splash of star stuff and hydrogen, and then it turns around and dives back into the brown dwarf, but this time it doesn't come out. And the sensors, as you are looking at this, right where it dove back in that second time and it stayed there, is now starting to register as a cool spot.
So yeah, I've got some of their fucking DNA though, and the fact that they're able to go into these extremely hot areas. I mean, that's got to have some new.
It didn't come out, so I mean, this might be a suicide thing.
No, the scientist, one of the scientists that initially came in, all excited about things, he thinks that, so these Leviathans, I mean, you already know that they live for a long time, but compared to you guys, they're virtually immortal, right? But he believes that because they live such long lives, there has to be some stage where they have to undergo some form of metamorphosis that to grow into this adult form. And witnessing this, he thinks that they go inside of these brown dwarves, incubating and drawing energy. That's what that cold spot is. They're drawing this massive amount of power from the brown dwarf to grow into these much larger sizes. And it could come out, 300 years later it could come out, or 1,000 years later it could come out. And it'll be, then we'll be a mature adult. It's impossible to know how long this phase of their gestation is, because we haven't been here to witness it, so we don't know. But he's suspecting that it's going to be a very long time.
All right. Well, we definitely want to create basically a computer model of how this seems to be working, just so that when we eventually make it back to Imperium space, some or more, some people on the crew might want to write some papers about this kind of thing, and
right.
We're going to want to make sure we've got a model that we were happy with before we leave. I think
it being artificial, and especially when it's like they've got this other star here encased in something. I mean,
no, it's literally frozen. Like it's giving off very minimal, like almost no radiation and almost no thermal.
Okay,
yeah, like we could stand on the surface if we could figure out how to get back off the planet.
So one of the scientists brings up, he says that we do have suits that you could technically be sustained for a short while on the surface using either a hostile environment suit or using one of the extreme suits, the ones that require VAC 3. They can sustain for a short period of time, a couple hours at that 12 Gs of heavy gravity. The problem is getting a ship down and being to take off. Now, some of these guys are coming up with stuff like basically what they're saying is they could strip parts from another ship, and they initially one of them suggested one of the boats. But the boats are a little bit too small at 20 tons because they wouldn't generate enough power for it. But a pinnace, they think they could. And they could strap basically boosters onto the outside of this thing and essentially give it...
What about gravitics to help?
So I was just going to say, whoever has a engineering M drive, or just straight engineering, can make a engineering M drive plus intellect or education.
I've got a 0, which means I'm rolling 1, so you're going to be in a better condition than me.
Yeah, I'm a 0.
I get the idea that chasing science and information is great, but I mean, if there's not even a hint of evidence of a payout on this going to the surface worth more than, some nifty trivial information to our mission.
Look,
I don't know the trip is worth the fare there.
I am very proud of my picture of me standing on top of a gas giant, and I'd love to get a picture of me now standing on a star. So,
right.
All right.
That's a magic. It's a set.
So Mel kind of looks this over, and he's talking with these scientists that are coming up with this idea. And the idea of gravitics does come up. Mel points out that you could create a device, an induction device, that would affect a single pinnace for the duration of the sortie, and it would operate by the conductor moving through a magnetic field, but with the gravity replacing any magnetism. And the movement, of course, would induce an electrical current and a lot of heat. But some of that power can be used or stored, and the remainder can be bled off along with the heat through gravitational hysteresis. And this conductor would counteract the gravity. It will get very, very hot. And, I mean, to the point where it's basically going to destroy itself. But it would take, to build this, it would take 10 units of exotic materials, which you guys got 2 systems ago when you mined all of that exotic material out. So, and according to what I've kept as notes, you've got 10. You could make one of these. And that would allow you to get down to the surface. Now, of course, Mel would know that this is a limited thing. And the other downside of it is that you only have enough units to make one of these. So if something goes pear-shaped, there's no rescue boat that can come get you.
Right. How salvageable will this stuff be once we, assuming everything goes perfectly and nothing's damaged in the process, would it be salvageable, or is this going to be a one-use thing?
It's going to be a one-use thing. It will destroy itself.
All right. So, in my mind, risk versus reward. I don't see the reward. I don't see burning. I don't see burning. That's true, but I don't see burning the resources for that.
Well, like I said, there is a structure, and
that's the part that is interesting, though.
Next to this structure, there is there's a large crater that has been dug into the surface of this frozen star.
We do have drones that fly by gravitics, so worst case scenario, we could maybe send some drones down to examine things. Now, admittedly, they may not be able to open a door, and so they'd be stuck.
I really don't. I don't know that they'd be able to operate at 12 Gs. I mean, because keep in mind, even an advanced probe drone, once it's on a surface, it can't break atmo by itself. So, I mean, at 12 Gs, and that's at 1 G. At 12 Gs, it's going to just pancake on the surface. But there is like I said, this as the sensors get better, it appears to be a 1 kilometer tall pyramid that has been built on the surface of the frozen star.
What's your clairvoyance, Sarda?
I can use clairvoyance that far to see. It's because you've got clairvoyance too, right? You've trained it.
I've got clairvoyance 1.
Same, but I mean that's enough to succeed on. And
we can.
It's like 50 kilometers, right? 50K kilometers or something like that. I'm trying to pull the book up on it.
Yeah,
you can double the range.
So clairvoyance, very distant. So
yeah, so that's pretty damn far.
Yeah, that's quite a ways. I mean, if you're talking about, I think they're talking about standard.
They have it there at the beginning of the psionic.
Yeah, let me take
part of the rule book.
I was just looking to see if this was on my.
I just know that I know my own game master jerk move that you always pull with clairvoyance. Well, it's dark.
Yeah, very distant is up to 500 kilometers. So, I mean,
it's
very dark.
It's very dark.
It's very dark.
You're looking around a very dark room. What would you like to do?
You can bump that to continental or even planetary. It would just cost you more.
Yeah, it would cost you another point.
But if you're a nitpicker, there's nothing that says that you can see in the dark with it. And so
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be that nitpicky. Now, the other thing that the sensors are picking up, not in addition to this 1 kilometer tall pyramid and this crater, is that there are evidently clouds, gases that kind of hang low to the surface of this frozen star. That these clouds pass for some kind of atmosphere, not breathable, obviously, but they are existent. So, does somebody want to make a clairvoyance check? Is that what you're wanting?
Yeah. So, very, very distant is 500 kilometer range. So, that should be enough that from orbit you can see something on the surface, I would think.
Yeah.
I can give you a psi drug that'll boost your psi.
I don't think that's necessary.
Okay. It'll just give you I think it's like a +3 or +4. +4. It'll
they give you +4 points for
for
a certain amount of time.
And frankly, I think you're probably better at clairvoyance than I am.
Yeah. Well, because I've got a high psi to back up with it. So I get a +2.
Yeah, my size, my size 10. It's just that's only +1.
So psi drug. Let's see here.
My psi is literally my highest stat. It's I guess education and social, I guess, are higher now. But yeah.
So yeah, so you must have the double psi drug. 6. It will restore 6 psi or give you +4 boosted, and it will.
Yeah.
How long does it last? Shit, it'll last a week. Looks like. Yeah, because it's you get a -1 per extra dose you take with if taken within the last week. So yeah, this'll give you those points for a week.
So that'll give me from a 12 to a 16, which is +3.
Yeah, you can
plus
spend as many
another
side points
one.
on this as you want. I mean, theoretically, I mean at that if you're doing that kind of range, I mean you're looking at let's see, two additional psi points, right? Would
Yeah,
boost it up to 50,000 kilometers.
yeah.
I mean, now 50,000 kilometers. I mean, you're talking about not even leaving the primary system here. I mean, you
Then
gotta,
yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to dump the side points in it, and I'll
and
spend it.
do a little bit of everything. Okay.
Yeah, let's see the
So,
clairvoyance. I want to use.
I would just do clairvoyance, the vision.
yep.
Yeah, okay. I'll do the clairvoyance with the.
Okay.
The interesting thing about clairvoyance and clairaudience is that no duration is listed, which seems really weird because they almost always tell you how long.
Well, clairvoyance says it's
Yeah.
1d times 10 seconds.
Oh, does it say? Okay. Well, maybe I misread that.
So you got a 7. That is
All right, so now I have a 15 psi, and because I failed, it only costs 1 point,
right.
and it doesn't change. I'll try again
There you go.
and get a 15. Yeah.
So
And the effect is how much information you pick up type
So
thing.
in 9 seconds, you pick up a couple of things. The first thing that you see, and I'm going to show it to everybody just because, that works. The first thing you see on the surface is this.
Fucking temple.
Yeah, we've got to go there, man. I'm sorry, but
And up here is a crater, and in that crater, you see this. There are juvenile Leviathan that are just kind of curled up napping in the crater. Now, when you're looking at this crater, it is obvious to you. This is not a natural impact crater. You can see that this was mined out, and it looks like the same stuff that was used to make the pyramid. Now,
Makes sense.
the other thing that you note about the pyramid, and of course you're not seeing it on this map that I made. The entire surface of this pyramid is covered in the scrawlings like you saw on the drawing tablets and obelisks.
we've got to go there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Let me look at the telepathy has a range of long. Read surface thoughts has a range of long. Maybe mind link. Mind link has a distant reach.
Now, MindLink. So here was
Yeah.
we talked about this last time. MindLink. So MindLink is usually used for like you and Sarda could MindLink,
Mm-hmm.
and I think essentially it takes 1d seconds to create, but after that, I think communicate silently with one another for number of minutes equal to the combined effects. So yeah, you could just communicate silently with one another, but it does say that it is far easier to create a long-lasting telepathic link to another telepath than it is to a mundane. So if you were wanting to try and mind link to those juvenile Leviathan, I would say it's probably going to go from an easy 4+ check. I would say probably to
Oh, I'm wanting to
probably
do the
10+.
structure.
Oh, you
I
want
want to do the
the
structure. they had the weird writings that gave off telepathic vibes, and I'm trying to figure out the way to get in touch with that.
Yeah. That's
So maybe
going to be that's something that you would have. The only time that you've been able to get in touch with something like that in the past is you had to either touch it or be somewhere in close proximity to it to where it would trigger. It's not
yeah.
it's not something that you usually activate. It usually does it to you.
Then I want to try to do a mind link with the Leviathan that's up around us, and see maybe if I can talk to it to get it to shuttle us down there and bring us back.
Hmm.
Is everybody cool with that? We get off in our vac suits and jump in the whale's mouth and have it.
You're gonna pull a fucking Star Wars thing.
That one
We're gonna
doesn't sound
Jonah.
as fun as you seem to think it does.
You
I
what?
mean, maybe we could. Oh, go ahead.
I'd be cooler with it if we had confirmation that they're ready and willing, which we could very well do. But until I've had one of the whales say, no problem, we'll give you a flight down there, I'm a little hesitant to just jump into the atmosphere and hope for the best.
Oh no, that's why I'm doing the telepathic communication. I mean, you don't just start randomly talking to strange creatures without fucking,
Sure.
at least having a goal and how you want to.
Yeah, where
What do you want to get out of that conversation?
Make sure you put on your tinfoil condom hat first.
Yeah, and so I mean, if I'm going to do the communication, I want to wait several hours to let my side points build back up.
Oh, here's the sound arrangement. It is on my referee screen. There.
Oh, cool.
And that's
You did think ahead.
I did. Oh, here it is. This is what I was looking for. So
Also, yeah. In terms of our vac suit capabilities, we're probably all going to be in hazardous.
So
Yeah.
I will show this to you.
12 G's is a lot.
A lot, yes. So this is your normal. We're gonna get shot at suit. Most of you guys are probably wearing the HEV suits.
Yeah, the vac suit 0 is great.
Yeah, this at 12 Gs, it will sustain it for a while. And of course, there's no real definite time period that you can put on it. But what I can tell you is that it's going to take some damage. But on the surface at 12 Gs, it will take all 3 of your minor actions to move just 6 meters in this suit. Now, having said that, there is, of course, this
circulation problems and all kinds of other stuff too.
Oh yeah, I gained so much weight. Then of course there's
all the blood won't go to my head.
Right. There's this one
It'll go to my head,
which requires vac suit 3, but it will allow you to move 6 meters in 2 minor actions, leaving 1 minor action available for whatever.
And it has an internal gravity field, which is the bigger issue. So you're in complete comfort while in that,
and can protect you up to 10 Gs. So essentially, you'd be working under 2 Gs, which is still, 2 Gs is nothing to fuck with. But this would work way better than the HEVs.
So, what are the penalties of not having vac suit 3 and trying to wear these things?
It is pretty brutal. It is.
I believe it's minus to every single skill. Is it only for every point you're missing? So I mean, if you've got vac suit 1, are you only at -2? Or I don't remember how that worked.
So it says vac suit skill.
Stacking.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I remember it being stacking.
Yes,
it was like -12 or some shit.
Yes. So it says the vac suit will allow a traveler to wear and operate spacesuits and environmental suits. Let's see here. Merely possessing the skill is enough. If the traveler does not have the requisite vac suit skill for the suit they are wearing, they suffer DM -1 to all skill checks made while wearing a suit for each missing level. So if you've got...
I've got vac suit 1, so I'd be at -2 for all skill checks.
Correct.
In that big one, which is still worth it for this situation.
Yeah, but those are only physical checks, right?
Right.
I mean, like,
Correct. Yeah, like if science and things like that wouldn't. Right.
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not just. It says all skill checks, and all
Because
is
your
in
body is
italics.
actually under extreme stress.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
still worth it.
it's still worth it at -2 to.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah,
like Dragon
first-
Ball in like the gravity chamber. Even just thinking is hard when you're under that much gravity.
Right. Yeah, you're focusing on trying to
Okay.
breathe. Because imagine what your chest and ribs feel like at 2Gs. You know.
But the real
Okay.
issue is going to be getting back off planet, unless we. Can,
Yeah.
And
Well, that's why we talk to the whales and see if they can just take us there and bring us. They seem to have no problem.
yeah, it seems like was it the last system we were in that we talked to the whales, because it seemed like they felt sorry. We were able to explain that we were not our ship; we were inside the ship.
No,
because
those were the squid.
the squids. Okay, great. I'm hoping we have a similar conversation with the whales.
Yeah. Let's see here.
The squids are way more psionic.
Right.
That's true.
So, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I think the way to go is to wait several hours.
So the whales feed off of stellar radiation. They can charge their internal storage by absorbing light and heat. Here.
If we had grav platforms, we could hypothetically create a very short
So
space elevator.
that's true.
You know, where you just need the space elevator to get inside the atmosphere down to a grav platform that could then be lowered to the surface.
So the two plans, the first idea pondered by the scientists is that it would take about 3 days, and they could take parts from 4 other ships and cobble together this booster pack for a pinnace that will get you guys down to the surface and be able to get you back up. And it wouldn't actually destroy the booster pack. So they're saying that it would take them 3 days to build this. You get down to the surface, you do whatever you got to do, and hopefully you get back up. I say hopefully because there's no guarantees. And when you get back, they can take the booster parts off, and they said that they will have them put back into the ships that they cobbled this crap together from, probably within a few days after your next jump. So about a week or so from now, they would have it all back together. The other option would be the idea that Mel came up with in creating an induction device using 10 units of exotic materials. That too would take about 3 days to build, but it will be destroyed by the time you get back up. Now,
I'd like to suggest that they also research the idea of a very short space elevator that allows them to drop a container containing an air car.
yes,
You know, through the atmosphere, get it in. We need to get through the entry point, but as soon as we're in atmosphere, you drop the air car, and then the air car rendezvous with that and gets yanked back.
God,
to the,
oh man, I don't know that. Shit. 12 G's is a lot. Let's see your vehicles. What's the?
It's using grav technology, so gravitics, so it's not going to be needing to worry about lift or any of that type of thing.
Yeah, but it has to have enough. It has to have enough grav in order to defeat the G's that it's in. So its speed it's got high speed. So what does that mean? That means that it can travel high speed about 200 to 300 kilometers per hour, and that's under normal conditions. So let's see here.
idea is you're not trying to exit the atmosphere with it. You're just trying to get up to rendezvous where the cargo container hanging from the ship is, so that they can yank you out of the atmosphere itself.
So it may be able to. So using the grav lifters like you're suggesting, they can probably get one of the air raft cars down to the surface without pancaking it on the surface. But because it's at 12 Gs, according to this, the fastest speed that it would be able to go is 25 kilometers per hour. So it would be very slow.
But that's also true of up, right?
True.
So it could get up and hypothetically rendezvous with a space elevator. It wouldn't have enough.
Well, a space elevator is going to cost. It's going to take a lot more than 10 units of exotic materials, and it's going to take a lot longer to build.
Sure. Yeah, I was just trying to think of another. All right.
Let's start with the whales, because that seems to be the most. If we can talk them into being our taxi service, just one of them, I mean, that kind of solves a whole lot of problems as far as resources and wasted material and stuff.
I think the thing.
Start with the whales.
Did we ever
come up with another plan?
Did we ever try to use telepathy on them in the past?
I think Bocephus made very rudimentary contact.
I did with before, but I mean now I'm trying to do this mind link.
So they do. So that you have witnessed, they do have unusual psionic powers. They can manipulate gravity fields, like on an instinctive level. They can create a gravity field that mimics a starship's maneuver drive. They've been known to lunge at 20 Gs or more. Usually they remain, they travel at about a 0.5 to 1 G acceleration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to try and reach out and talk to one of them, you certainly can.
I just want to make sure that I wait for my points to recharge, so I'm at full. So I get my full bang. You know what I mean?
True. How many points
you got left? Because I just used them.
And then what happens with with the side drugs when you stop? Don't the side drugs kind of kick your ass afterwards too?
Only if you take another dose within the week.
Gotcha.
You'll be at -1, and it's that's a cumulative for each dose you take.
I'm at 12 right now.
So that means you're getting back one every 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
it should be something. Wait 8 or 9 hours. It should be full, topped off again, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'd like to wait that, and then maybe we could get in a boat and ask one of them to take the boat down to the surface and get back up.
Okay.
So if we all just kind of get in the boat, I'll see if I can get one of them to do it, and if not, then we can try the science route.
Okay.
What I want to do.
So you're gonna wait 8 hours, try and top up. And then, so you guys, the sensor scans continue and kind of, get as good as they're going to get for this system. And the science division is just, I mean, they don't know which direction to look first. Half of the entire science division is wanting to study the Leviathans. The other half is wanting to study this frozen star. This is all shit that nobody's ever seen before, right?
Yeah, well, I mean that's your different. Everybody's gonna have to make a decision. Are you a life scientist or are you a physical scientist?
Exactly. It's and I mean, and then of course you've got the astronomy, the space sciences division that are looking at this entire solar system and are just boggled at what the hell's going on here. But so you guys get your rest. You're topped up. What are you? What psionic are you wanting to use, Bussy?
I'm wanting to do a mind link.
Which
so I
think
can communicate.
I think you just start with telepathy, and then if they're willing, they can create the mind link with you. Is how I believe that works.
Well, telepathy is a class, and the mind link is the actual skill.
Yeah,
You
telepathy
know what I
is
mean?
like the broad. Yeah, it's like the broad skill, or
Yeah, I can send thoughts.
well, so telepathy is the skill, and these are all the things that
Yeah.
you can do under it.
Yeah.
So you want to try and so they are psionic, so you can, and it has a range of distant,
Mm-hmm.
which is
the thing is that
clicks.
mind link requires both telepaths to use it to set it up. So you and I could create a mind link, but I don't think you could just create one with somebody who's not aware you're about to do it.
Send thoughts and then pair it with read surface thoughts.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is that you have to have you have to speak to them, kind of. You have to, yeah.
So okay, so go ahead and make a send thought, and it's 5 clicks. So first of all, are you getting into a boat first?
What I'm thinking, we're all just going to get in the boat and say, man, if this works out, we're going to get taken down to the surface, or we're going to come out its ass a little later.
Okay.
And if it doesn't work out, then more likely than not, we will just take the boat back in. But if we got the boat and we talk this thing into taking us down,
let's make sure this thing can handle 12 G's of pressure. Do we, that's
yeah. So the boat is it will be able to handle the pressure, same like the pinnace, and it can act as a safe haven for you guys for a limited time. So essentially, these things can shoulder off 3 times their maneuver drive thrust rating. So at thrust 4, these can stave off 12 G's, but the other, that is a limited amount of time, because that means that they are going to be using power, basically overcharged the entire time, trying to make it a livable environment for you. So it can do it. Thrust 4 isn't going to get you off the surface, but if the whale is willing to play taxi, all you have to do, all it has to do is open its mouth, and you step out of the boat and walk out of it, walk off of its tongue or whatever, and you're technically on the surface.
Well, that's what we're trying.
So go ahead and make a send thoughts check. Oh wait, sorry. So hang on to that roll, and that is a successful roll. So hang on to that. We'll get to you in just a second. Pappy needs to make a piloting small craft plus dexterity check.
Piloting small craft. I don't know how to pilot. What are you talking about? Any pluses or minuses?
No. Oh, actually, I take that back. Well, 12, you should have got it already, but common modifiers just space. Nope, I guess that only accounts to shooting at spacecraft. So no, but 12 is good, and so Pappy launches this boat out off of Revelation, and is able to pilot you. Now 5 clicks is let's see, distant. Yeah, 5 kilometers. That seems to your normal Earth brain that 5 kilometers is quite a ways. In space, that's when your fucking alarms are going off. You're like, you are too close. Yeah. You are way too close.
Way too close.
And so, he is able to get you within 5 clicks of this space whale. And Bocephus, you are able to make a connection and send thoughts. And what are you sending?
I'm sending um send thoughts to others. Each individuals need not be telepathic themselves.
Right.
These individuals are normally open to such transitions, but close shields are threatening. All right, so I want to send the thought of humbly asking to take us down to the pyramid.
Okay. So this takes all of about 2 seconds, and you send that thought. Do you have any animal skills?
Yes, yes, I fucking do.
Which skills do
As
you
a
have?
matter of fact, I have animal handling.
Go ahead and make animal. Go ahead and make an animal handling plus intellect or education check.
I have animals too. So that's 2 plus. You say education or intelligence,
Yes, your choice.
and I will take education for a +2 because I have a 12 in that, and I will make a 10.
Okay. So, and that there was a +1 on that for a 11.
An 11.
Let me double check that. I'm sorry, a +2 on that for 12. And so, you make contact and send thoughts to the space whale. You don't really get anything back, but the general feeling that you get is that they don't really have a lot of intellect. They are animals. Like just pure. I would say that Leviathans are probably more animal-like even than earth whales or dolphins. Earth whales and dolphins will both do things that clearly they are thinking things out. They're puzzling through some things. The Leviathans don't seem to really do that much. They don't have much intellect. They act more on on an instinctual level. But you make contact and you kind of use animal handling to word this in such a way that the whale comes and you just, from your front viewport, and Sarda probably is going to crap in his vac suit, you see this whale's mouth open up and it's going to swallow the boat.
Yeah, I'll tell Pappy, don't do shit. This is what we're wanting.
And so this Leviathan gets you in the mouth, and it clamps down, and you are sitting on whale tongue, and it brings you down to the surface.
Amazing.
That's beautiful. Yeah, we are like the Millennium Falcon.
Get some lights out there. Get this all on camera.
Yeah. And then I guess we're just going to take the Manuses and go on into the pyramid with these super heavy duty vac suits, right?
Yep. The exploration suit.
Will.
That's my plan. Yeah. And then try to record everything, and if we have to examine the footage later, that's fine. But
yeah.
So it drops you off probably. It's going to drop you off closer to the wee ones. These guys.
Man, we're going to walk like a mile.
So actually, no. Each one.
Oh, that's right. We just need to disgorge the ship, and we can fly over it.
Yeah, each one of these hexes is 6 meters, and so with under 12 Gs, you can use 2 minor actions to move 6.
Got it.
So,
but I think we can also. Okay, yeah.
So first, of all,
that's still a few hexes each round. That ain't bad.
It's a ways. Hold on, let me. Figure out where we all are here. Everybody can go ahead and roll initiative. 2D plus either your intellect or dexterity, your choice.
There's a button for this, I swear to God.
It's on the combat tab in between armor and weapons.
There we are.
Just to go over things. This is a more advanced alien structure with probably alien tech in here, guys. So be sure to touch lots of stuff, push buttons, turn knobs.
Touch everything.
Yes,
Sounds like a plan.
yeah. Got to learn what this stuff does. Yeah.
Have you guys seen any of Star Wars Skeleton Crew yet?
Uh-uh.
Wow.
I've heard really good things. I've got friends that say it's a lot of fun.
I wouldn't say that it's great, but it is kind of fun. But there's a scene in the first episode where the kids like they're all trapped inside this spaceship and it powers on, and the girl tells everybody don't touch anything. And meanwhile, on the bridge, the one kid is looking at this flashing light, and he goes, click, and presses the button, and then the whole ship goes on autopilot. It's like, I didn't touch anything. So, Mel, you can move 6 meters. 4 of these hexes.
Okay.
And
Where should I?
You can use the measurement tool too. So I mean, let's see, 6 meters.
Man, you're asking me to do all kinds of shit that I don't know how to do.
Well, you
All
can
right.
move about right there. There you go. And make a well, now I have a question. I guess this would be make a vac suit plus, I guess, strength.
That is not good for me.
No, me neither.
No, that's it. So you Mel goes trundling off in this thing, and just barely makes it. And so you're inside this suit, and you could hear like the joints and whatnot of this suit kind of groaning. And the thing about these suits, because these are the exploration suits, they're not like a vac suit. They're more like a powered mech suit with the arms and stuff on a gimbal. And so, I mean, the whole thing's like creaking and groaning as you move, but it seems to be holding steady. You are getting all of your HUDs in your helmet is flashing a warning that this you are in an environment that exceeds the tolerance of the suit, and warning. Pappy, you can move 6 meters. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Mel. Was there anything that you wanted to do with that other minor action?
Not that I can think of. I want to head towards that.
I'm gonna draw a gun and drop it. Ah, shit! I can't pick it
Exactly.
up. Pappy, you can move 6 meters.
I'll just stick behind Mel.
Okay. Go ahead and make a vac suit plus strength.
plus strength. Strength, huh?
Oof, you barely got it, but you did get it. And you're like creaking, and like every time you step, you swear you're like denting the crust of this star. And like I said, the entire surface of the star looks like tarnished silver. Up here, actually, everybody, before I have Bocephus go, everybody can roll Recon plus Intellect.
It's at minus whatever our penalty is, right?
Correct. So minus, yeah, whatever the penalty would be.
So -4.
Oof.
Or you're not even trained in vac suit?
No, I've got. I am. Well, I have 0.
So
Yes,
you
you're-
get -3.
Minus 3, yeah.
Well, then that would be a 6.
6 gets
Rest-
it though.
A 7, yeah.
So yeah, you guys all seem to have gotten it.
Or yeah, 6. So
But let me find it. Okay, so up here around this crater, now that you're closer to it, Sarda especially, but Pappy saw it too, you can definitely make out that this was excavated by whatever means the droid usually use. And there is a bunch of stuff lying around, not like technology, but stuff that they dug out of the crust and then just left. Pure carbon gemstones that are beautifully colored, alloyed with exotic compounds and trace metals. There's iron, mercury, platinum, and diamonds. There are some of these diamonds are as large as a man's fist. Pure star-forged crystal that, if you had it back home, would be worth trillions of credits. Essentially, what this means is that these are exotic materials to the tune of, holy shit, there's a lot here.
nice.
There
That's why I
are-
rolled for my strength.
There are 90 units of this stuff just lying around. Now, I mean, how much you can carry is probably not that much, but I mean, you're probably not going to get out of here with 90 units. I'm sorry, what was that?
I can be really diligent.
As your suit's warning systems are screaming at you, you are going to die.
Yeah, that's the bigger problem. We need a grab sled.
Right. Bocephus, you can move 6 meters.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you want to do with your one remaining minor action?
No. I mean, Sarda, you're the closest to that debris there. I mean, do you mind trying to scoop some of that up?
I mean, sure, but if you'll notice, our suits don't exactly have pockets, so I guess I'll just be carrying it with me everywhere we go.
Actually, let's see here.
It seems more logical we scoop some up on the way back to the ship.
Sounds cool. I'm just saying, if there's
Yeah.
trillions of credits worth of shit just laying there, I mean, God, we ought to scoop 1 or 2 of these gems up.
I fully
we
agree, but I think
am on board.
I think I might need both hands in the temple.
So it says that
Okay.
it can mount a range of heavy tools, of augers for taking rock samples, cutting gear. So it must have some kind of storage capacity.
It's a funky suit because it doesn't follow the normal rules for these types of
No, this
suits.
is like this thing's like battle dress plus, or
Right.
like the
But-
Pioneer battle dress suit.
Right, but battle dress provides strength and things like that to
True.
actually help use the actual object.
Right.
This one relies more on hand wavium. It looks like.
Yeah. Well, this thing looks more like a extreme deep dive suit, like from the Abyss.
Yeah, sure. But it's like, but I'm sitting there going, am I using my own strength to carry myself and this suit?
Oh, no,
I
no,
don't
no.
think so.
It's powered. I mean, it says it's
Yeah.
powered and that it can support in a 10G environment. So, if you want to scoop some stuff up, go ahead and make a...
Like I say, I'll grab it on the way out.
Okay, go ahead and move your 6 meters.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna.
cool. Yeah.
I think we all grab some on the way out. So I'm
If
actually
we all
going.
get one of them big ass star gems, I mean that's it.
I'm
we
going
can
to.
go home.
I'm going a roundabout. I'm going a roundabout method here because I want to walk on more plain land. So I'm doing this thing.
Okay.
I end up there. That's 6, but it's
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
I'm trying to walk. I
And-
don't want to fall over.
And
I'm
actually,
trying to-
both Sarda and Bocephus make a vac suit plus strength check.
yeah,
5.
Oof.
7.
So Bocephus, you.
Oh
take a
wait, that's technically a 5, right? Because we're at -2 to this as well, or does that?
I'm not counting the -2
Oh,
to
okay,
this.
all right.
All
right, all right.
But Bocephus, you hear a creak and kind of a crunch, and like one of your hip actuators it kind of gets jammed up for a minute, like the top portion of the suit is pressing down too hard on the hinge, and you kind of right yourself. It wasn't enough that there was any kind of damage. Like part of the suit's probably bent and whatnot, but it didn't breach, which hooray.
But if I keep that shit up at will, is that what you're telling me?
Well, yeah, you don't want to do that again. Let's see.
Okay. Looks like two turns. We have these other minor actions. Can we, move another 3 meters using that?
Yeah, I'd let you do that. If you guys want to all move another 3 meters, you can.
I mean, that's two hexes. So I will definitely take that.
So you can both. Everybody can move two more hexes.
Brian loves moving around his token.
I know, right? So, and I got that big faceplate. Pappy's in there, and he's vaping on his e-cigar inside the helmet.
In my suit.
Yeah,
the
in your suit.
Yes, absolutely.
Like the guy from Prometheus that filled his tank with a separate line for his vape. So they're smoking inside his spacesuit. I love that. At this range, everybody roll 2d plus your intellect check. I take that back. Mel and Pappy roll 2d plus your intellect check. So, Mel and Pappy, you both look at this pyramid, and it's got the droid symbols all over it. Here.
Oh yeah, y'all are gonna have psychic issues.
What is the name of that?
I always thought the vaping part of that Prometheus was sort of a callback to the fact that Alien opens with them smoking a cigarette.
Right. Yes. It totally was. Yeah.
Because I mean that was ridiculous, and it was sort of like.
Wow. I can't remember what I named. Anyways, so this thing is covered in these droid symbols. Mel and Pappy, you look at it, and you didn't fail that badly. You both get a little bit of a headache and a little bit nauseous looking at it, but you don't get that fight or flight response, fear like you got in the jungle cave. Bocephus and Sarda roll 2d plus your telepathy. Yeah, 2d. So it'd be telepathy plus your psionic score.
All right.
God. 8.
I said both of us.
Oh,
So both of you got 8. You look at this and you can tell that you do get a psionic impression from this, and it is kind of from the. It's from the viewpoint of the person or from the imagination of the person that was of the droid that was carving the symbols, and it basically talks about how the droid expedition interacted with the Leviathan, and the droid came to the frozen star. You don't find any technical information or any big secrets or anything like that carved on the outside. It's just telling the story that the expedition stopped at this star and constructed this monument.
And boy, is it heavy.
Yes, right. So I guess that means everybody can move. If you're using all 3 minor actions, you can move 9 meters. So
I think we're hoping it's better inside the pyramid. That's being optimistic.
Yeah, we can go in the pyramid. I don't know if Pappy can. Pappy will be just outside the pyramid.
Well, we also got to open the door. I mean, we don't know how to get in yet.
Yeah. Well, I got a 9 on my check.
okay.
Vax.
Yep,
check.
you make it with no problems, Pappy. You can make a vac suit plus strength check. You made it barely, but you made it.
is that roll supposed to have any minuses?
No, I'm not calculating minuses for that.
Okay.
Mostly because the suit's supposed to take care of that. I mean, that's part of the reason the suit exists. So, and Mel can make a vac suit plus strength check.
I'll just move myself, I guess.
Nice. And Sarda, make a check.
I don't know where these checks are coming from, but I'm not going to complain while it's
Oh, no.
while they're good getting.
Well,
So
I failed mine.
So Sarda, same thing. You're getting a warning light on your hip actuators. Like the suit's just too heavy. But you get, I mean, it's not a breach or anything. But you get to this, and the entrance is essentially a big airlock. But
We should have brought grab belts.
Yes, but you don't see any outward controls.
Going with psionic, yeah. I mean, can I get some sense of familiarity out of it because I did that big drawing download of a mind?
Yes. In fact, if
I also have the psionic science, Scientology.
yeah, I mean, you have dealt with these kind of before, and it was just you touch it and think, and the door opens. You can make a telepathy plus psi check, and you can make that with a boon.
3 telepathy, 2 plus psi is still above 12. Barely.
Nice.
16. Oh, I'm sorry. 4 and 5 equals 9, plus 4 is 13.
Okay, so you touch this airlock and think real hard, and the door opens.
Now we're all coming in.
Hold on
Yeah.
here. Let me.
Can I think for the lights to come on?
Well, I'm fixing the turn on. Because there's really no need to re-roll initiative. That seems tedious. All right. So you should all be able to see yourselves, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So this door opens. Mel, you can step inside if you so choose. This is the door here. Okay. So Mel, when you step inside, immediately all the warning lights turn off on the inside of your suit, and you are in a fairly comfortable 0.9 G environment.
Oh,
Oh, nice. Come on in, guys. The water's fine. I'm sure there's no
But the
trap.
gravity's great in here, guys.
There's nothing to worry. Maybe we can make this thing fly, and that would be cool.
Just keep in
So-
mind, every time you leave through this door, your ass is going to get 12 times bigger. Pappy, you can step inside.
Yay, I'm inside.
And Bocephus.
Bocephus, considering he's got the mental power and knows how to do it, will not go in until Sarda goes in.
Okay.
I'll go in.
Holding your action.
And then I can go in, I guess.
Yes.
All right. And then I will think to close the door and cycle through it.
Yeah.
Do that bit, man.
And in front of you, so this appears to be like a standard airlock entryway into this pyramid. And in front of you is what appears to be a large, you believe it's a sliding door, or double sliding doors, but it's they are made of the same material that was, of course, the rest of the entire complex is made of, and just a really smoothed over, like whatever the material of the crust of this frozen star is. It's just highly polished. You almost can barely see the seams. And
We're definitely in
there's
spats.
there's scrawling all over the walls in here too.
Make sure that we get pictures and record all that shit.
Okay.
We get like
Yeah. I mean, the whole, we want to record everything we can. I think if this is like an airlock, once we're in the next door, let's get the hell out of these suits if we think we can trust
the air.
app. Yeah. So let's start getting some scans of the air quality and everything. Because
So as you're standing there, kind of looking
Right,
around,
would one wear a vac suit? Would one wear a vac suit underneath these things? I don't know.
No,
I mean,
no.
okay.
So after Bocephus comes in and shuts this door, and you're kind of marveling at the construction and the markings and whatnot, you can see that a vapor starts to fill the room. and it quickly dissipates. Your suit's external readings are reading that you have air in here. It is breathable. It is a breathable atmosphere.
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the fuck out of this bulky
Let me
bullshit.
Just to be absolutely, completely non-paranoid, I'd like to do a life scan to make sure I'm not picking up any fungus.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make your check. Guess that'd be your telepathy plus psi.
Yeah. I know I'm being paranoid, but
Okay. So the only life readings that you are detecting are the 3 juvenile Leviathan in the crater and the adult that brought you down.
great. Okay. Perfect. All right. I'm feeling a little more comfortable. Yeah. Let's get out. Let's check behind before we get out of these suits. Let's open the second door, right?
Sure.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because this kind of looks like an airlock. I want to make sure that once we're in the main facility, the air, that's where.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we want the next door open.
Go ahead and make a telepathy plus psi check.
With a boon still.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
12 plus 4. That's 16.
So these doors unlock and open up.
I could have been a drawing in a past life.
I thought a droid would make an interesting character.
I don't know if they'd swim as well as you do.
That's true.
No.
Yeah.
No, but they've got those little, wingy things.
I imagine their libido's a lot lower too, considering they're not
Yeah.
dolphin. But you can get those augmented wings on your little stubby wings, and then you can fly or glide.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like if I breed with enough different species, like I'll get some kind of title or something, that I could have.
You'll get a gold star.
All right.
Well, I mean,
can we open this door? We can move in.
Yes.
It's open, right?
All right. And at that point, that's when I'll start really checking the atmosphere. And if we think it's safe, this is where I don't know. Spending a lot of time in spaceships, I feel very uncomfortable getting out of my spacesuit while in the airlock.
Yes, that sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. So
I feel like let's get the next part, and then we'll get out of the air. Those suits.
So moving into this this next chamber, there's a short hallway with an arch, and you can see that there is like a bluish light coming from the large main temple or pyramid complex ahead of you.
This is awesome.
When Mel and Pappy come in and they get out of their suits, I want to slap them both with a null drug.
What's the null drug? Oh, to cancel out psionics.
Yeah, I don't want them to get I think that'll help them from a sonic attack, possibly.
Right. Yeah, a null drug should, yes, it should. Yeah, dampen psionic abilities of others. Null is general classification of anti-psionic chemicals injected into a target. Once injected, takes 2D minutes to take effect, completely shutting off psionic ability. Well, they're not psionic. So null drug you would have to inject the carvings of the pyramid in order for it to work.
Okay, yeah, I can't do that. Sorry, guys. Y'all are just going to have to suck it.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
Here, he just hands out ibuprofen.
Yeah. I will go like this. This might protect you.
He's clearly a doctor for the Veterans Administration. Here, just take ibuprofen. You'll be fine.
What I'll do is I'll just give you both Game Boys and tell you that if you're starting to get a headache, just play the Game Boy for a while.
That'll work. Yes. So Mel, you can move in. And like I said, you see that there is light, like a bluish tinted light, Some of it's blue, some of it you can see tints of like a pinkish red in there as well, coming through this archway ahead of you.
Man, this might be some of the best preserved stuff of the old drawing technology. We need to make sure we record everything really well. I think, but we're proceeding in, I guess.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
can move in, and since you're at normal gravity, you're out of your if you're spending
Pop out of the,
pop out of the suits, you can move 12 of
I
these
think
hexes. 18 meters.
The big ball in the middle is the one I want to go close to.
Sure.
Yeah, but we need to make a round of the whole place and make sure we record all the drawings and stuff.
Bocephus, make a recon plus intellect check.
Hey, 9.
Okay. So at the center there are these 3 curved walls, and then there's this statue. There's these 4 statues that appear to be drawing, and in the middle there is a drawing that appears like you have seen the artificial wings, and where the tops of the wings hook up, there is a hologram of what you think is this frozen star. And you can see a pinpoint that shows that there is something living inside the star, like perhaps a gigantic, huge Leviathan. Now, this structure, if this came from the Droin expedition, this whole pyramid would be about 300,000 years old. And if this is an accurate current scan, that means that whatever has been living or incubating inside this frozen star has been here for 300,000 years at least. So, I mean, you're talking about a Leviathan of Lovecraftian proportions.
Yeah.
The Leviathan to eat all Leviathans. But
I don't. You're muted, Will.
amazing. That's amazing. That's awesome.
So the other thing, though, is as you're looking at this globe, you look up, and on the ceiling, you see this carving.
Oh, that's our map shit. Our map shit, and it looks like one is incubating in this thing. That's what I think. That's what caused this whole place to lose its heat.
And you receive exactly that. You receive telepathic imagery that depicts a Leviathan going into this star, and it has been living there all this time, just incubating for 300,000 years.
I don't think we should do it now while we're on the surface of this place, but I think we need to try to make telepathic contact with that.
I imagine it's going to be like when they tried to steal the killer whale in The Simpsons. Quick, guys, the fuzz is onto us. Woo, 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 woo. So stupid.
Well, you can send emotions, right? So just the emotion of wake up.
Yeah.
The other thing, the other impression that you get from this, so the playfulness of the juvenile Leviathans with the other ships, and even with Deepnight Revelation, it comes to you that this is a mating dance, and that however they interacted with Revelation or your small craft, evidently they did this with the droid ships as well, and there was some transfer of material from these ships to these Leviathans. And from what this is telling you is that in 1,000 to 10,000 and maybe 100,000 years, if you were to come back through here, there might be Leviathans that might resemble Deepnight Revelation or may act in a mechanical manner because they interacted with your ships. It says
Wow.
The image tells you that juveniles are independent from an early age, going off to feed and warm themselves among the nearby stars, but they return to the family group and seem to prefer to be close to an adult. Eventually, a juvenile dives into a brown dwarf of the right temperature and changes into an adult over several centuries. The final image, located on the ceiling of the central dome chamber, depicts the droid ship observing as a juvenile enters one of the star's brown dwarfs. The image is generated by the imagination of the observing sensitive, so it's possible that you're actually just imagining it, but the juvenile seems familiar to you, and it occurs to you that it may have been that juvenile that you're picking up from these carvings might have been the first adult with the brood of children that greeted you when you came into the system.
Is that the one that brought us to the surface?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. I will make sure that I send that emotion over the next time I have to do my thing.
All right.
That's badass.
And so, I'm sorry, you were going to say something?
Well, a lot of times these things have given us maps, and we've not seen one intact enough to kind of get an accurate thing. But I mean, I'd really like to look around here and see if anything, resembles one of these maps. That we have these other things in the corner that we need to look at too, I guess.
Okay. So we will pick this up next week at 6 o'clock on Friday night. And we will get to exploring the interior of the temple. And
In the new year.
In the new year, the first game of the new year, to explore the Droin Pyramid on the surface of a frozen star. So I guess I will see you guys next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Sounds
Thanks.
good.
That was fun.
Good. Happy
Good
New
to see
Year.
everybody.
Happy New
Yeah.
Year.
Yes,
Happy
sir.
New Year.
I
Take
will
care, all.
see you guys next
Good night.
week. Have a good one, guys.
Take care.